Double Life has just started, and in this series, I'm going to be building some of the best moments from that series. This is going to include a lot of building human characters. Why have I done this to myself? Before we properly start, please take a moment to subscribe. It only takes a second, and it really helps me out. Thanks. Now let's get on to which moment we're going to be building today. And that is going to be this moment right here, where Grian has got Scar on a fishing rod, and is taking him back to his base, just after they've revealed that they are soulbound. But King, why this moment, and not the moment where Grian actually revealed that they were soulbound? It's because Grian uses a tree for that, and I just don't want to build a tree. Especially that big, they're really annoying. To start off our building for this episode, we're going to need a blank canvas on which we can create this build. And here's one I made earlier. A big stone disc with a radius of 250 blocks. This should be plenty of space for everything we need to fit in this project. But of course, we can't quite get to building the characters first, because this is a bit too flat, so it's time to do some terraforming. I do this in the normal way, my normal way, using pink concrete powder, which just falls. It's a gravity block, it's very nice, it's something I never use in other builds specifically for this purpose, so that I can set it all to the correct colour, or moss blocks in this case, after it's been terraformed. Although I do paint in green concrete powder over the top of this pink concrete powder, just because I want the pink concrete powder to be stone in this case, because the cliff needs to be stone, and I want a grass coating over the top, or in this case, moss. There's a few important features for our terraforming, which is a big cliff in the middle, which is going to wrap around a pond, which we're going to use a little bit later, and then just some other rolling hills in the background. I don't want to do too extreme to take away from the scene in the centre. And so here's our landscape so far, and while I still think it looks really nice, let's now build some foliage to make this place look more natural, more overgrown, and more like a jungle. And no, that's not going to be building trees, because I did this entire thing just to avoid building a tree. So no, we're going to build some bamboo, which is ironically the one thing that Scar said he was missing throughout the entire episode. But brushing over that fact, I build up this bamboo in different sections. I just put one on top of the other, stack them up, give them a little bit of a bend, and then add some of the bushiness at the top, basically just looking like an enlarged version of the Minecraft bamboo. Right! Now it's time to start building Grian. So I start with the head, his very elongated head. This doesn't seem right. And then I build the no, I don't build the body, I colour in, sorry guys, a mistake's been made here. This isn't Grian, this is just a cod. Easy mistake to make. I don't even have anywhere to put this. I think I'm just gonna have to dump it in the lake. It takes up like the entire lake. It doesn't even fit in there. Okay, so no, we're not going to be building Grian just yet. We're going to do some of the ambient creatures. So starting off with a Jellie Panda. Over on this hill over here, it's going to be the only one of the pandas that's a Jellie Panda. You can't really tell that it's supposed to be a panda. It kind of just looks like jelly, but, you know, it's kind of hard to mix two of them together. This next panda is going to be a panda, and it's going to be sitting up and eating a piece of bamboo. And you know what? All's going well, until the head. It turns out that building a panda head is actually really difficult. After quite a lot of trial and error, I get something that's okay, so let's move on to the second of our pandas, which is going to be standing up, and I am so glad that I decided to make it standing up, because this made all of it way easier, and it also wasn't on a diagonal, which was great as well. But that means that all of our ambient creatures, including a fish, a jelly, and two pandas, is done, and we can start putting the bamboo around this area, and then we can get to building the characters. So I get to placing the bamboo all over our disc world, just using World Edit, making sure that I vary all of the sizes, and that there's not too many of one size too close together. And I think this has had a real transformative effect on this island. So now we can finally move on to building the characters. Starting with Scar, seeing as his position really determines where Grian needs to be standing, so we've got to build him first. I think I'm going to have him holding a jelly cat, and, well, he's obviously going to have the fishing rod bouncy thing on his head. As for the process of actually building him, I build him in pretty much the same way that we've built all of the organics in this video. I build the important individual parts of him, for example, the torso, the arms, the legs, and the head, all in different types of precious blocks, because they clearly highlight those areas have to be different, and also they're really addictive. Once you get trying them, honestly, you'll never go back. Once I've got the precious blocks down, I change all of that into the correct blocks that it needs to be for the finished build. As you can see, 2 of his arms are actually connected, and that's because we're going to be hanging Jelly over those 2 arms, as he's going to be giving them a hug. And so here's the final thing for Scar. Now let's move on to Grian. Now for building Grian, luckily I do happen to have a mannequin that I can use for his character model that should fit perfectly, so let's paste that in real quick. This is actually from a video that might be coming up soon in the future, look out for that. So all that needs doing is the arms need to be rearranged into a position where they can be walking forwards and holding a fishing rod. And I don't usually like cutting corners like this, but it would just be showing you the same thing as what I just did with Scar, so I wanted to avoid showing that twice. After repositioning the arms, I set it all to the right colours, and then I even add the waffle on the back of the head. He wouldn't be Grian without it. All that's left to do now is add those eyes that stare into your soul. Ugh. And make the fishing rod, which is attached to the top of Scar's head. And with that, this project is done. Let's go and have a look at what we've built this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to leave a like and subscribe because it really helps me out. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!